Hello, welcome to another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast.
My name is Steve Lacy.
And I'm Mike Gray.
Mike Gray's with us today. Mike kind of comes and goes. I mean, he's with us all the time, but on the podcast,
I come and go with the wind.
That's right. That's right. Well, hi guys. How is everybody doing today?
Doing all right.
Great.
I'm without internet in my home office, but we're pulling it off.
That's
My
right.
backup internet is working.
Yeah, you're the only guy I know that can go online without internet. Well done.
That's right. Yes.
But that goes back to your days in the 90s, right? When you invented the internet, or you were on it before. It was there. You were on the World Wide Web, right? Before it was worldwide, right?
I was on. Yes, I was. I was on the internet in the early 90s before there were web browsers. Yes,
Yeah.
I was. And I remember a guy talking to me saying he showed me the very first web browser and took me into this lab and he said, this is going to be everywhere. This is going to take over. And I asked a few questions about it. I'm like, that's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
I said,
it'll never take off.
Yeah. I go, HTTP protocol. That's a Unix protocol, right? Yeah. I goes, everybody's on PCs. I go, that's never going to happen. People are not, he was on a Unix machine showing it to me. I said, this HTTP thing's not going to work. So boy, was I wrong.
Well, just a little bit. So interesting that you bring this up because you were on the cutting edge of technology back then. And today we're going to have a special announcement, which is kind of on the cutting edge. We're going to introduce a brand new product officially. We are a company that's been serving churches and ministries now for 20 years. Officially, in August? 20 years in August, I think.
That's
but we're counting it as 20 years now. And, we've been doing this with interactive stuff like myflock.com, website templates, church management stuff, profiles before there was personal profiles, before personal profiles existed with Facebook and MySpace and all those things. And then soon after that, a little bit after that, we had, of course, streamingchurch.tv and then churchapplive.com. So we have a new thing designed for churches and ministries, as usual. So, Steve, you want to tell us what is this grand opening?
This grand opening, we're calling it Mychurchdaily.
Mychurchdaily.
And what it is I should have, hold on one second.
Yeah, you might want to tell us what it is and refresh your memory.
I got to turn my gizmo off so she won't interrupt me when I say her name. So, so it is moving the church, providing the ability for the church to get on Alexa devices. So it allows the church to create a message or create a bunch of messages and schedule them for every day on the Alexa for your church members.
So this would be kind of so Alexa has a feature called My Flash Briefing. Correct? That's what they set up a number of years ago. My Flash Briefing, and I have it set up so I get ESPN stuff, and I get some other weird thing I get, and I get up in the morning and I can go, Alexa, how do you do it? Alexa, what's my flash briefing, right?
Yes, you can say that. You can say what's in the news, what's going on. She'll let you know for a myriad of things. So, and there goes Mike's or somebody's.
Somebody's is going on right now.
Not mine.
I have Alexa devices in my home. I don't have one in my office here. I do have one. Something went wrong.
wrong.
Used to that.
Yes.
But
don't say that name, Alexa, out loud, very loud.
I have a Google. I have a Google device. But all right. So mychurchdaily.com. People, in fact, if you can look it up right now. Mychurchdaily.com is the new product. It's designed to work with Alexa. Sorry. And let's talk a little bit about maybe the background of Alexa, and then we'll talk a little bit about why why people should be excited about this, because this is really a great tool for churches and ministries. But tell us a little bit about Alexa's background and how this whole thing came to be.
So the inspiration for this actually came from actually several years ago. We put on our list. You guys remember we manage our work, and we said we need to move to the Alexa device. And we had a task that's probably 2 years old, and we were trying to figure out what's the right fit for the ministry to move on to this platform. And actually, I was inspired by a book I read not too long ago that just talked about how they felt the 15 minutes at the first part of the day and the 15 minutes at the end of the day that you spend with Alexa when you're saying, what's the weather for today? What's on my calendar today? What's in the news? Was going to be the key time. So we moved to take over or allow the church into that space.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I'm just getting back. Alexa has been around since 2014.
Wow.
So it is now 7 years old. For the first few years, it was just a smart speaker that primarily played music. And then in 2017, they opened it up to, it's kind of like the iPhone was introduced in 2007. And they had an app store, but there really wasn't much to it until, a year or two later when they opened it up to everybody else. So Amazon opened up their Alexa to what they call Alexa Skills in 2017. So that allowed third-party people to develop applications for the Alexa. So much like you develop an app for a mobile phone.
So how many Alexa devices are out there today? Is there like 5 or 6 of them out there now?
Well, you may have the number. I know the percentages. I had looked at some percentages not too long ago, but it's over 30% of all U.S. households now have an Alexa device in their home.
Wow, over 30%. It seems like I saw a number somewhere about 100 million or more are actually out there. Devices.
I don't doubt it, because we've got one in just about every larger room in the house.
Yeah.
And now we've automated all of our lighting. We don't. We're not germaphobes, but we don't touch the switches anymore. We just tell the device to turn them on or off.
Yeah. I've got 3, I think. Not one in this office, but I've got one in the kitchen. I've got like the one that's a monitor. What do they call that one? The Show or something?
Video.
Yeah. Echo Show or something. And then my wife has something in her room, and then we have one in our bedroom. And then you can also program these things to your thermostats, your lights, your
I have my garage door, my front door lock. Cameras. And the video ones will show you what's going on. If you have the doorbell one, it'll show you who's at the door. I've kind of, I don't think I'm unusual, but a lot of people are not only using the smart speaker, but they're also, adding things to their home.
So let's go back here to church, how this works. So mychurchdaily.com. Folks, write that down, look it up, and go there right now as long as you keep listening to this or watching it. But mychurchdaily.com is going to work with Alexa, and churches can do their flash briefings or whatever we want to call it. We'll get into exactly what they can do with it here in a moment. But let's talk a little bit about the history of churches using technology, because maybe some churches have been a little slow. Some of us have been a little slow in using technology over the years, kind of like contemporary Christian music, but we won't get into that. But let's talk a little bit about the history. Websites, right?
Do we want to start there? We could start way back, but let's start with websites.
We can start with the printing press, but let's not go that far back.
You guys go back that far, huh?
I do, yeah. So go ahead, Steve.
So websites. It was probably, I remember I just mentioned to my pastor not too long ago, we had lunch together, and I remember discussing purchasing a domain for the church, and the church getting a website, which would have been probably probably late 90s. So
Yeah.
97, 98, 99.
I remember
time
that.
frame.
Yeah, I remember that we couldn't get the domain we wanted, so we had to do .net or something. Before we got .com.
Well, we were trying to, we were actually pretty early. I was going for alive.com.
That's right.
But
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, but I said alive.com is not available, but alivechurch.com is available. So so we purchased the domain, and so the websites have been around for a long time, and churches kind of, they see the technology. They tend to be laggards with regard to technology overall.
Is that a scientific term, laggard? Is that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
there's
pretty
early
much.
adopters, and there's what do they call the middle of the people, the masses, and then there's the laggards, who are the late adopters. And so,
Okay.
some of the churches jumped right on the web, but it took a little while. But now today, pretty much every church has a website. It's
Almost.
hard to have church without having a website. So that was something that came about in the late 90s. I got a little timeline of just some of the technologies over the past 20, 30 years or so. Online giving was, not long after the website came about, people shifted to being online giving. And today there's, text-based giving that's very popular. But online giving was probably early 2000s. You guys can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong on any of these things.
Sounds about right.
And so, the churches would adopt that. And then along comes mobile apps with the introduction of the iPhone in 2007. And you saw that, I don't know Mike, do you know the percentage of churches that now have an app with their church?
I don't have stats
Yeah.
on that, but
Yeah.
it's becoming more and more
Oh, yeah.
prevalent because they can do so many intuitive things that you do inside the building for people who are your committed folks.
Right. And I'd be just only guessing at how many churches, but it went from, it's increased over the years, right? As in 2008, I don't think there was a single church that had a mobile app, but today it's probably, I don't know, 25% maybe of the churches have mobile apps.
Mike can
for their
Google it here
churches.
while we're.
I'm looking. Yeah.
So you got mobile apps that came out 2008 or so.
Yes.
And
And
then,
then
of course-
the advent of live streaming, we were kind of on the forefront of that, which was around that same time, maybe a little bit later. We started offering it in late 2008 and early 2009 timeframe.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah, Easter 2008 is when we kicked off the embedded video in a page. Woo, we were really doing it.
Well, that was pretty
but
early on.
It was something, and nothing else existed at the time.
Yeah. And that would have been really, we would have been one of the early adopters for that. And then today, live streaming is becoming, more like having a website with the COVID outbreak. If you don't have some form of live streaming to do church, you're really going to be somewhat left behind. So, so live streaming has been around, I don't know, 10 years or so. And then along this timeline, the next thing to come along has been, the electric car, right?
The flying car.
Yeah, so the electric. Now, next thing was the smart speakers. So with their kind of hitting the scene in 2014 and then becoming more of a broader tool in 2017 with the ability to create skills for them so that you can connect your thermostat up and get your favorite, play a game, whatever it may be. That was 2017. So that's only a few years old. So this is the new technology. We wanted to move into this arena for the churches. And so we've provided an on-ramp for churches to be a part, or for church members to be a part of their church every day, and churches to reach out to their members every day through their smart speaker.
All right. So the on-ramp is mychurchdaily.com. Let's talk a little bit about really why this is something that's valuable and has value for churches and ministries. Let's address that a little bit. I mean, I'm a pastor listening to this podcast, one of 2 or 3 people that listen to us. And I'm sorry, I'm being funny. There's probably 7 or 8.
You are being funny. There's quite a few more.
Yeah, there
quite
are.
a few more.
I'm being facetious, but look, I'm a pastor listening to this, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, why should I consider getting involved with mychurchdaily.com?
So, well, number one, as I mentioned earlier, almost a third of all your homes have one in their house already, and you're not on it. And they're getting, their daily
Right.
dose of whatever they're getting from, some other sources, primarily secular sources. So, so number one reason is it's out there, it's available. People are using them every day. They're becoming a part of the daily habit of people. So this allows you to connect during the week with all your members in a kind of an uncluttered environment.
Let's address the word uncluttered here. Okay. So when you say uncluttered environment, what do you mean by uncluttered environment?
So, well, a cluttered environment could be, and we talk about this as well as, Facebook, for example. Well, my church is on Facebook and we've got a Facebook page, but you're competing with all kinds of other interests when you're when you're going to Facebook and trying to reach your people primarily through Facebook or Instagram, or even, if you're streaming on YouTube, it's tough to keep people's attention in the service when there's other stuff popping up about, here's what's going on with your favorite hobby or whatever it may be. It's all demanding your attention and keeping you going from one video to another.
Yeah,
so,
I can relate to that. I'm trying when I upload our podcast or something on YouTube, I'll see these things like Roberto Clemente's 3,000 hit, like, oh, I want to see that real quick,
Yeah.
And
rabbit holing on video channels and social media is easy to do and completely get lost from what I came there to do.
Yeah. Even for us professionals. Yeah. Okay.
So with this, there's no competition. You say, Alexa, play my flash briefing, and it's going to have, it'll say from New Life Church, Pastor Jeff, or whatever. And then he comes on and he'll give you a short message for the day. It may be something like, this past weekend we talked about marriage, and here's one way to honor your spouse on this Tuesday, and he'll have a short message for that day. So that it's uncluttered in that it's not, you're going to be listening to that as you start your day, and it's not going to be competing with other people trying to get your attention while you're listening to it.
Okay. One of the things in the notes here that we've got here is you say smart speaker. A smart speaker is a home-based technology. And again, when we're talking about a smart speaker right now, we're talking about Alexa and how mychurchdaily.com interacts with that. So you say a smart speaker is home-based technology versus a phone or a computer-based technology. So, and then in other words, it's a lean back device versus a lean forward device. Expound on that a little bit.
So have you guys heard that term, lean back device versus lean forward device?
I haven't. No.
It's the when you're on your phone or you're on your computer, you're typically hunched over your phone and you're kind of focused on your phone, right? And you're not necessarily relaxing, and it's just a different experience watching the Super Bowl on your phone than it is in a lean back device, which is sitting on the couch watching on the big TV that's in your room. So Alexa is more in that home lean back world. It's where I, either plop right out of bed, or I just, plop down on my sofa and just say, Alexa, what's happening today? So it's a more casual, relaxing environment than you get when you're looking on the phone or you're looking on your computer. It's just, I heard that term a long time ago, and it just made a lot of sense to me. It's just kind of difference. They're primarily talking about TV versus, other technologies.
Right. Okay, I get that. Yeah, and I'm dominating this, asking questions because I'm going into my radio mode. But Mike, feel free to jump in here, Mike. I don't mean to cut you
Well,
off.
I know we've talked about this, but I was going to ask Steve, so what's the impact of this in our current mode where we're still in COVID-19 mode? Churches are in COVID-19 mode, will be for, I don't know, nobody knows how long that's going to be, to where people are, as much as 30% of them are not coming back in our buildings. What does this mean for that?
Well, number one, it gets you into the homes, as we just talked about. So and it gets you into the homes outside of the weekend service. So you're connecting all week long with the people. So it's up to the churches what content they want to present every day. The design of it is to be a short, less than 5 minutes, just a little audio briefing of things. Our church is driven down the path of, we've got a daily devotion that's set up. They've got a Bible that's got a year-long daily devotion in it, and they're working through that daily devotion every day. So all of your members of your church can, get your daily devotion in every morning by just telling Alexa what's going on today.
Yeah.
And who are churches, again, Steve, you kind of hit on this, who are churches really competing? Who's on Alexa now? I mean, for the most part.
Well, pretty much no other churches are on Alexa right now. There is no other service out there like this that has been offered to ministries. There's actually no service out there like this, period, that allows an easy on-ramp to get on Alexa. So typically, if I'm a church and I want to get on this device, I've got to hire some developers and put together a skill, build a skill, submit it through the Alexa developer skill review system, and then they get added, much like kind of like the same kind of barriers you'd have with creating a mobile app. If you want to get into the Apple App Store, it's not something you can do very easily yourself. But what we're doing is making it easy for the church they just create an account with us, their skill will get created on Alexa, and they just upload content and schedule it.
And again, I want to emphasize mychurchdaily.com. That's the on-ramp to getting you and your church on Alexa, and specifically what we're calling flash briefings.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, good. All right, so key reasons, we've mentioned a few key reasons why churches and ministries really should jump on this. Connecting with people midweek, connecting with them every day really is ideal, and it would help them, encourage them in their walk with God. And there's other things you can use this for. This is a great tool because I might be a pastor, again, listening to this podcast or watching this video of us, and I might be saying, well, okay, but what kind of content should I put on this, and how do I come up with content? Any one of you guys want to address that question?
Well, we've got some beta testers now, and one of the churches, I mentioned my church went the daily devotion route, and so they've got a daily devotion that's set up for every day of the week. The others really wanted to keep their members informed of what's going on in the ministry, and so they took some of the information that they may have used in announcement time and just pushed it into that environment so that they can, if they have something going on to the week, they say, hey, church members, don't forget tonight is the worship service that we're having on Tuesday. We'd love to see you there. Bring whatever it may be going on. So it's their way to connect daily in with just news items and that sort of thing. So it's up to the church, whatever they want to do, but it's go ahead, Mike.
Well, I really liked your idea of, you mentioned just recapping the sermon. I mean, go back into the points and say a couple things that you said, man, I wish that I had 10 or 20 more minutes. Well, you do. I mean, put it on your Alexa briefing, break it out and say, 5-minute segments and hit 5 days of that the following week, and really go deeper into things you really wished you could have dug into from that week's sermon.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of churches are creating content for other platforms during the week. So you can reuse some of this information. If you create it for this environment, you can use it, post it on Facebook as well, or that sort of thing. So
Yeah, absolutely. And people, those of us involved in ministry know, and it's true for us as well as anybody, we need to hear things multiple times. And so, emphasizing something you said Sunday morning in a flash briefing through mychurchdaily.com is a very positive thing. People can hear it again, hear a thought, hear a concept, hear an idea again, and it helps us grow spiritually. So,
exactly.
all right. So again, how hard is this to do? I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, well, how do I do this? Give us a couple. It's not that hard to do, but let's play. Let me play, dumb guy here, and I shouldn't say dumb guy, but because it's a legitimate question. Well, it's a
Right.
legitimate question. How
Very
hard is this for me
legitimate.
to do?
Yeah.
Walk us through that. Okay, I want to do this. I go to mychurchdaily.com. I look at it. Okay, I'd like to try this. What's the process?
So we have a free trial. So you just click on the create an account, and it'll ask for some information about your church, address and who you are and what your email address is and that sort of thing. As soon as you create your account, then you have the ability to go in and start creating your skill, they call it, on Alexa. And what that means is, what do I want to call this thing? How do I want to be listed in their listing of other skills? Because there are thousands of skills. What do I want to call it? How do I describe it? And then what logo do I want to to show with it? It's kind of like a mobile app. It's if you've been on your Alexa device and go into the Alexa app and you look for a skill, it looks a lot like a mobile app. So as you people search, they're going to want to be able to find your app. So you go online, create the account, go into your admin area, create, add the name, upload your logo, and then you need to record some content. So we recommend less than 5 minutes, and that can be as easy as just grabbing your phone and starting record, or go to your computer and recording on your computer, and then so you just create a recording.
Yeah, do an MP3 file. So you can. There's all sorts of software out there. A lot of it's free. Audacity is one that's free. You don't have to get real complicated. You can record an MP3 file. And you said 5 minutes. Can I go over 5 minutes?
The Alexa, the Amazon people want you to keep it under 5 minutes.
Okay.
So that is their recommendation. I'm not sure if it's a hard stop for them, but we tend to just, we'll go with that and try not to get cut off. So it's geared to be 5 minutes. So it can be 15 seconds to 5 minutes. So yes, so you record the file, and then right there on that same admin area, you can upload that file to your area, and then you just drop it on the calendar what day you want it to play. You just say, I want this one to go on Monday, this one to be on Wednesday, this one on Friday. And then in the background, we will have built your channel out and submitted it for approval. It may take a couple of days with the Amazon folks, and then it'll be available. And you go and let your congregation know, hey, we're on Alexa. Search for, New Life Daily Message, or whatever you wanted to call it, and you can add it to your Alexa. We've got help videos for your congregation as well, or some videos to kind of help promote it within your church.
So I can do this 7 days a week. I could do one every day. I could sit down and spend, a half hour or an hour in my office, do 7 of them at a time, or even do more than 7 at a time, right? And then upload them.
Yeah, there's only one a day, but that is the only constraint. So yes, you could do them all in advance. You can do them a month in advance. You can do them a day in advance or a week in advance, whatever works for your schedule.
Okay. So when I sign up, and again, I'm probably butting in here and cutting Mike off, but
that's fine, man. You guys are doing great.
thank you very much. If I sign up, I mean, do I get a free trial? How's that whole thing go?
Yes, there's a 14-day free trial. So kind of like all our other products.
Free trial.
Gives you a couple of weeks to try it out, see if it's going to work.
Yeah.
No credit card required, so you can try this out and see if it's going to be a fit for your ministry. If it's not, then account just expires and goes away.
No
If it is,
obligation.
then
ahead,
no
I'm sorry.
obligation.
Yeah. And then after 14 days, what's it going to cost me?
So right now we are introducing it at $49 a month.
Ooh, that's an introductory price, $49 a month.
Yes.
Wow, that's good. That's really good. I can be in my members' homes, and even not just my members, but other people might stumble upon me,
Right.
and hear my
Well,
flash
or
briefing.
even, if you've got your members listening to the pastor every day, that's an opportunity for them to invite their friends and neighbors. They could say, hey, I know it takes a lot to get up and walk through the front doors of the church, but add this to your flash briefing and you can get a taste of what, our ministry is like. And if it's something that's a good fit for you, then you can, eventually come and visit. So it's a way for people to easily and get others in their neighborhood and in their circle involved in their church without being, obnoxious.
Really obnoxious. So I could promote this too. I can promote it on my Twitter account, on my Instagram account. I could promote it on my Facebook account. And so again, I could even get people that might be outside my circle, of maybe people that regularly attend. Maybe some newer people might catch it as well. So
Right.
yeah, good
And
deal.
again, it's a geographic barrier buster. You could have people listening from all over the world to your daily briefing. So
Wow.
it's not.
Go ahead, Steve. I'm
So
sorry.
go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just thinking, now that we've all unplugged our devices, if anybody had one queued up to actually play one of these actual flash briefings.
We should have thought about this before we did the podcast. I know, have
brilliant,
anything
right?
lined up. Yeah.
It's in our promotional material. We can show you that, and I can certainly go grab mine. But
well, we're out of time.
We're silencing them so they don't talk back to us.
I had unplugged mine, so
Actually, I have one on my Amazon Fire tablet in my office here, but I guess I have it off or something. So, because again, that's a nice thing about this whole thing you're talking about, Steve, is you don't have to actually have the device. I mean, like I have a tablet. What is it called? A Fire tablet or something, and I have it linked with my Alexa.
Play my flash briefing.
So I have it with this, so I can actually be portable. And
G. Sapiens' perseverance paid the dividends. When he narrowly missed at cutting 2 years ago, the world number 37 in seconds.
Alexa, stop.
Yeah, stop. We're out of time. But that's a good idea. But I just want to reinforce that, if you have a Fire tablet or something, it's related to Amazon. It is Amazon. And so I don't even have to have a device that's plugged into something. I can walk around.
You can do it from your phone too.
That's true. Yeah,
so if you go to the Alexa app, you can speak to her or tap it. And now she's already listening to me, trying to figure out what I'm trying to get her to do.
It's confused. All right. So we're done here. We're out of time, but let me reinforce and reiterate mychurchdaily.com. That's the website. That's what we've been talking about to give you an on-ramp to get your ministry on Alexa's flash briefing. Sign up today and a 14-day free trial. How can people get a hold of us, Steve, if they have questions?
Well, there's always support at mychurchdaily.com as well.
Do I get that email? I get that email.
I think you do get that email.
All right.
As well as support
at
streamingchurch.tv. So
yeah, streamingchurch.tv. So you can chat with us. You can actually chat with us at Mike. Shut that thing up. You can actually chat with us. Or is that you?
That was me.
Not me.
You can actually chat with us at mychurchdaily.com. We have a live chat during Arizona business hours.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, unless it's after 4 p.m. in Arizona, and then I run for the hills. But all right, we'll help you every step of the way. I just want to reinforce that we're way over time here, but I also wanted you to know, those of us who are listeners, we will help you with this too. So don't feel like you're overwhelmed, just like we do with streaming and mobile apps and everything else. Okay, we're done, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was great.
All
Thank
right.
you guys for letting me be part today. And sounds like an exciting new venture.
Yeah, we're excited about this. Tell your friends, folks. That's Michael Gray. Steve Lacy's been with us. I'm Phil Thompson. Tell your friends about this. Take care of yourselves. We'll catch you again for another edition of the Church Solutions Podcast. Take care.